one of such committees. The Select Committee is a committee of the House.
Honorable Minority Leader.
And as I conclude,
you are actually out of order.
Okay, I'm just concluding.
You are out of order.
I just want to plead with you, Honorable Speaker. Just 1 second, or 1 minute.
Okay, take that 1 second, but you are out of order.
That, Honorable Speaker, if you undertake a purposive interpretation of the Constitution, understanding orders, I want you to find that what is envisaged under Article 152, sub-Article 9, is that the decision of the Select Committee shall be subjected to the vote of this House.
Order,
that whatever decision the Select Committee arrives at must be validated by the full House. That is the import of Article 152, sub-Article 9.
Honorable Wandai. First, you are out of order in anticipating debate. I did guide the House that I have been informed reliably that the report is ready. The report has not even been tabled. The Speaker has not seen it yet. After the next 1 or 2 orders, the Speaker will retreat to the back chamber and look at the report. It cannot be tabled without the Speaker ascending to it. Once I am satisfied and I assent to it, then it will be tabled. Secondly, that will be done within the next less than 1 hour. Secondly, and Guna, you are out of order in interjecting when the Speaker is on his feet. Secondly, what the Minority Leader is trying to bring to the attention of the House is water way under the bridge. The House already debated a motion, and the outcome of that motion was the setting up of the Select Committee. Unlike in the Senate, where in their standing orders, they provide that the House can elect to prosecute such a matter, particularly in relation to the impeachment of the governor, the deputy governor. It may elect to prosecute that impeachment motion through a select committee of the House or through the House sitting as plenary. That provision is not available to this House. This House, what is available in your own standing orders, is to have a select committee which we put in place. That is where the minister appeared with his lawyer, from what I was reading, and that is where the prosecution was conducted. Now, when the report comes to the House, if the matter is found by the committee to be unsubstantiated, it ends there, dead on arrival. If the committee says the matter has substance, then level 2 will now be the House to deal with a fresh motion, which at the end of the day will require a simple vote to uphold or to reject. That's what the law says. That's what the Constitution says. So, Honorable Wandai, you are jumping the gun. It's unnecessary, it's unhelpful. Just hold your horses. Order, Wanjala. Order. Order, Honorable Wanjala. Order. Members, take your seats. Honorable Wanjala, take your seat. Take your seat.
Order number 3, messages.
Your leader has raised a matter which I have disposed of. Take your seat. What is out of order, Wanjala? And cite the standing order that you are relying on.
Out of order.
Can you cite the standing order that you are relying on? Order, members.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, members.
Mr. Speaker, you used standing order to call us here today.
Order, Honorable Angela, take your seat. You are getting into the realm of gross misconduct. When your leader, Honorable Andai, stood on a point of order, he cited the standing orders, he cited the Constitution to prosecute his point of order. What standing order are you relying on to say what you want to say?
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing up on a point of order number 1.
Yes. Order. 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 Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable Angela. Order. Honorable Angela, thank you very much for providing comic relief to the House. Standing order number 1 does not apply. It only applies where a matter is not provided for. What you are dealing with is provided for under the standing orders. And any further interjections to Angela, I'll rule you out of. Order, Angela. Order. Honorable Angela, you may be excited about the matter, but be orderly. I've ruled you out of order. Take your seat and remain calm. Order, Angela. There is no time for you because you have no matter to prosecute. Take your seat. Yes, Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under standing orders number 1, number 66, and Article 152(9) of the Constitution. I need the Speaker's ear, so we cannot compete for his ear. Mr. Speaker, I have Mr. Speaker, I rise under standing order number 1, standing order number 66, as read with Article 152(9) of the Constitution, for your directions. Mr. Speaker, I seek those directions pursuant to your further directions that you have just given. Mr. Speaker, you read Article 152(9) and properly interpreted it. But Mr. Speaker, I'd invite you for a proper and thorough interpretation of 152(9) before the committee tables its report. Insofar as under 152(9), Mr. Speaker, A, it says if the select committee reports that it finds the allegations unsubstantiated, no further proceedings shall be taken. Mr. Speaker, I wish to invite, for the clarity of the House, the interpretation of the word proceedings, so that we would know how we react to the report by the committee. Mr. Speaker, without anticipating your direction, my understanding is that Article 152(9) actually mirrors the process of removal of a judge under Article 67. And the contemplation therefore, Mr. Speaker, would be that when the committee reports that they have found the allegation substantiated, then we proceed under 152(9)(b). But where they find it unsubstantiated, no further proceedings shall be taken, which means the proceedings contemplated in B, that is affording the Cabinet Secretary to appear before the House and the question of voting, will not be taken. But my understanding, Mr. Speaker, is that that by itself does not prevent the House from discussing or debating the report. What it does is to prevent the House from voting on the report. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'd urge you to give us a clearer interpretation of the word proceedings, and one that goes with the purposes of the Constitution, one that is permissive, because the House is entitled to debate the finding of the committee, including any improprieties that the committee may be engaged in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honorable Senior Counsel, your reading of the Constitution, your understanding of the Constitution, and your appreciation of the Constitution is in tandem with Mr. Speaker.
Good. Thank you.
Under Article 152(7), where you should have started, because I know you very well, you are a clever man, but you are reading selectively. It says, if a motion under Clause 6 is supported by at least 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly, which motion was supported by more than 1/3 of the Assembly shall, not may, shall appoint a select committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter, which you did, right? The next level is now the reception of the report, which you have quoted. As it is now, we have not tabled any report. So you are also jumping the gun. Once the tabling of the report is done, then the relevance of your argument comes into play. And then the discretion of the Speaker will be called into place. Right? Thirdly, and for the avoidance of any doubt to all members, including Honorable Raphael Wanjala, standing order number 1 in our standing orders is not available to any member of this House. Whether it's majority or minority leaders, it's only available to the Speaker. If you read your standing orders properly, and for avoidance of doubt, I wrote these standing orders with the late Honorable Godana. The late Honorable Godana, Julius Sunguli sitting there, and a few others. Standing order number 1 is only available to the Speaker, not to any other member. It is not an escape route to anybody who doesn't grasp their standing orders. So let's leave it there. Honorable Otienda Amolo will get to that matter when we reach it. Order. Clerk, hold an order. That matter is spent. Let's move to the next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable members, Honorable Machele, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I have a message from the Senate on the passage of 4 bills. Honorable Zamzam, you have breached our standing orders. Take your seat. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41(5), I wish to report to the House that on 2nd May 2024, I received 4 messages from the Senate regarding the passage of 2 Senate bills and 2 National Assembly bills. Order. Is that Honorable Member for Malava and Serisia? Keep your silence. Honorable Member, the first and second messages convey that on Thursday, 25th April 2024, the Senate considered and passed the County Boundaries Bill, Senate Bill number 6 of 2023, and the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022. The Sugar Bill was passed with amendments. Honorable members, the third and fourth messages convey that on Thursday, 2nd May 2024, the Senate considered and passed the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024 with amendments, and the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023 without amendments. Honorable members, the County Boundaries Bill, Senate Bill number 6 of 2023, seek to give effect to Article 188 of the Constitution by providing for procedure for alteration of county boundaries. It also proposes to provide for a mechanism for resolution of disputes relating to county boundaries, as well as establishment of an independent county boundaries commission. On the other hand, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, seeks to amend the County Governments Act Cap 265 to raise the statutory thresholds for removal of a member of a county executive committee. In conveying the message regarding passage of this particular bill, the Right Honourable Speaker of the Senate has notified that the sponsor, Senator Samson Cherargei, MP, has nominated the member for Marakwet West, the Honourable Timothy Kipchumba Toroitich, MP, to co-sponsor the bill in this House. In this regard, the Honourable Toroitich will henceforth be responsible for marshalling its consideration in the National Assembly. Honourable members, with regard to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022, I hereby direct the clerk to circulate the Senate amendments to the bill to all members as required by standing orders. In the meantime, the message from the Senate, together with the schedule of the Senate amendments, shall stand referred to the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock for consideration. Honourable members, in order for the House to commence consideration of the two Senate bills, I further direct the clerk to schedule the bills for first reading when the House convenes next for its regular sittings. Thereafter, the two bills will stand committed to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for consideration. I urge the two committees to prioritize the respective bills, refer to them, and report to the House as soon as is practicable to enable the House to proceed with the next stage of the bills. Honourable members, with respect to the two National Assembly bills, that is the Sugar Bill 2022 and the Division of Revenue Bill 2024, you will recall that the National Assembly passed the two bills on 27th September 2023 and 20th March 2024 respectively, following which I refer the bills to the Senate for consideration pursuant to the requirements of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. As part of the bicameral architecture of our legislative process on bills concerning county governments, the House is now required to consider the Senate amendments to the two bills. Honourable members, passage of a division of revenue bill ought to be done expeditiously and within the statutory timelines in order to allow the attendant steps in the budget-making process. In this regard, and in line with the resolution of the House of 14th February 2024 regarding processing of messages received from the Senate during the short and long recesses, through notification number 001 of 2024 dated Monday, 6th May 2024, I refer the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill 2024 to the Budget and Appropriations Committee as soon as I received it. The committee is expected to have concluded consideration of the Senate amendments and should table its report today to facilitate consideration of the business listed as order number 10 in today's order paper. As I have communicated earlier, this particular business has a statutory timeline and must be dealt with. The House is accordingly guided. Next.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Monday, 13th May 2024, the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on its consideration of the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, that is National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Hold the order, honorable members. Honorable members, the next is the tabling of a report by the Select Committee on Investigation into the proposed dismissal of Mithika Linturi as the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development. Honorable members, like I did indicate to you earlier, I will recess for 20 minutes. The Deputy Speaker or a member of the panel, Wangari, will take the chair, deal with the items on the other orders, so that when the Speaker comes back and the report is tabled, we'll proceed with it without any interruption. You are so directed. Wangari?
Order. Order, members. We'll continue with the business of the House. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8, procedural motion, reduction of publication period of a specified bill.
Order, members. Nipatie mic. Order. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance. Honorable Kimani Kuria.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, that this House
Bring the mic.
resolves to reduce the publication period of the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill 30 of 2024 from 7 to 4 days. Honorable Speaker, the reduction of this publication period is to give enough room for public participation so that we can have a robust conversation about this Finance Bill of 2024, and most importantly, to avert a possible special sitting for this Friday, because if you don't make the decision now, then we might have to reconvene a special sitting on Friday.
Order. Honorable Mogaka, take your seat. Honorable Joash, take your seat. Honorable Robbie, take your seat. Member for Sirisia, take your seat. Honorable Clive, take your seat. Honorable Sunkuli, break the Kamukunji. Honorable members, we cannot even hear the mover. Kindly let us be orderly. Member for Molo, can you move again?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following procedural motion that pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 120, that this House resolves to reduce the publication period for the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2024 from 7 to 4 days. Honorable Speaker, the essence of this provision of reducing the publication period from 7 to 4 days is to give enough room for public participation. There are a lot of measures that the Finance Bill of 2024 has proposed, and it's very important that we give a robust time, to give sufficient time for Kenyans to participate in bringing us their views, and that's why we propose this reduction in the publication period. Because in addition, Honorable Speaker, The import of this is also we may have to have a special sitting on Friday if we don't reduce this publication period, and we don't really need to do that. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to request Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oudo, the MP for Funyula, to second.
Order. Order, members.
Procedural motion.
Member for Felicia, you're being disorderly. Take your seat. Honorable Makila, take your seat. So that you can hear Honorable Oudo. Second the motion. Honorable Oudo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to second the procedural motion, specifically the procedural motion to reduce the publication period. We have always had a challenge in this country, Honorable Speaker, that such an important bill like the finance bill is never given adequate time to be subjected to public participation. On the account that they are seeking to reduction of the publication period so that they give adequate time for public participation, Honorable Speaker, on that account I support. But as I support, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge the committee and I want to urge the members who will sit in the committee that public participation, Honorable Speaker, should not be an exercise in futility, should not be an exercise in vanity, but the comments, the views of the people of Kenya must be taken into account when preparing the final report. Honorable Speaker, if that doesn't happen, then the process of public participation is going to become a farce. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the reduction of the publication period.
Honorable members, I therefore, Honorable Modoni, take your seat. Honorable Kagiri, take your seat. Honorable members, I therefore propose the motion that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill, number 30 of 2024 from 7 days to 4 days. Is that the mood of the House? I therefore put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2024 from 7 days to 4 days. Are as many as are of that opinion say aye? As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the law relating to various taxes and duties and for matters incidental thereto. Order number 10, motion, consideration of Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024.
Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on motion 10, that is the consideration of Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, that is National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024 be now considered. Honorable Speaker, and the consultations are too high.
The chair cannot even hear himself. Order, members, let us keep the consultations down. Member for Nyando, kindly resume your seat. Honorable Ikana, take your seat. Member for Sirisia, this is the third time. Take your seat. Let us hear the chair.
Take your seats. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2024 be now considered. Honorable Speaker, and I beg the members can afford some few minutes so that we are able to understand each other. Honorable Speaker, whereas it is obligatory for me to move this motion, Honorable Speaker, I also rise actually to reject the motion, Honorable Speaker,
based on several things that and reasons that I'll be giving to the members in this house. Honorable Speaker, I can barely actually also hear myself.
Let me try assist you. No, now you can hear. You can hear. Go on.
Honorable Speaker and members, the motion before us is very important. And as I said before, as the chairperson of Budget and Appropriations Committee, whereas it is obligatory for me to bring forth this motion, Honorable Speaker, I actually rise to reject the amendments by the Senate for several reasons, Honorable Speaker, that I would wish that members understand and also to communicate clearly on those issues, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Appropriations Committee set actually over this recess, and Honorable Speaker, even in our report that I am sure members already have, we have decided to reject the amendments by the Senate, Honorable Speaker, for the following reasons. But before I go to the reasons, I want to make it very categorical and clear for Kenyans and to Kenyans that the National Assembly, the Budget and Appropriations Committee, we 100% support devolution. And Honorable Speaker, we support when resources go to our various counties, because even our governors are trying to do their best in terms of adjudicating and appropriating the monies that we appropriate in this House, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, on the onset, it is important for us to understand that the Budget Committee and this National Assembly, we fully and unequivocally support devolution, and that is why year in, year out, we actually continue to increase the amount of money that we horizontally push to our counties, Honorable Speaker, based on the bill that is before us today. But Honorable Speaker, even as we support our county governments and our governors to do their role, Honorable Speaker, insofar as governing and leading our county governments is concerned, Honorable Speaker, our country and also our devolved governments, Honorable Speaker, we operate on a fixed envelope and an envelope that is quite thin, Honorable Speaker. Just for us to be on the same page, the bill before us, Honorable Speaker, and I was conversing with Honorable Mukoji about it just a few minutes ago. The bill before us is the bill that actually, Honorable Speaker, shares our national cake vertically, Honorable Speaker. Vertically to say, this bill, Honorable Speaker, allocates a block figure that goes as shareable share, Honorable Speaker, equitable share to our counties. And then thereafter, Honorable Speaker, the formula that is made by the Commission for Revenue Allocation, then that money is shared horizontally among the 47 counties. But before us today is basically about vertical share, Honorable Speaker, and shareable revenue to our counties, Honorable Speaker. The rest will be ensuing later. Honorable Speaker, why are we rejecting this motion, Honorable Speaker, and the amendments by the Senate? Honorable Speaker, this House previously passed the same division of revenue bill, Honorable Speaker. But as it should be, then it proceeded to the Senate. Honorable Speaker, when it proceeds to the Senate, in case Senate agreed with this House, Honorable Speaker, then this bill would have gone to the next stage. But Honorable Speaker, as it is procedurally, when there are amendments by the Senate, and then they push back the bill to this House, if this House agrees with the bill, then the bill continues carrying the amendments of the Senate. But Honorable Speaker, when this House rejects, as we are going to do this afternoon, then Honorable Speaker will have to go through a mediation process between this House and the Senate so that we can have a common ground on this matter, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, as we reject this bill, it is thus an opportunity we are requesting from this House that they give us an opportunity to proceed to mediation between this House and the Senate so that we can get a middle ground. Honorable Speaker, what are the facts around it? Honorable Speaker, in the budget policy statement that we passed earlier this year, Honorable Speaker, we were working with a budget then of around 4.18 trillion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, after the passage of the BPS, we have had to relook at our budget, and Honorable Speaker, we have actually been able to slash close to Kenya shillings 270 billion, and therefore the budget we are dealing with now is a budget of around 3.913 trillion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, when we appropriated or when we set the ceilings in the budget policy statement, the shareable revenue or the share, the equitable share that we had provided to our counties was approximately 391 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, and this is what I would implore upon my colleagues even to get this point. Whereas we appropriated or we set a ceiling of 391 billion Kenya shillings when our budget then was 4.18 trillion, even after we slashed the expenditure by the national government by 270 billion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker, we have still gone ahead, Honorable Speaker, to let the figure of 391 persist in the current budget of consideration. And therefore we have not affected the equitable share that we actually passed in the budget policy statement even after we had slashed all the other departments. But Honorable Speaker, when this bill proceeded to the Senate, then the Senate in their wisdom thought it is proper that we consider a different figure. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, whereas this House is dealing with a figure of 391 billion, our colleagues in the Senate, Honorable Speaker, have proposed in the current motion that we are debating today a figure of 415 billion Kenya shillings as equitable share, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, there is a gap of Kenya shillings 24.8 billion Kenya shillings. These are the ramifications, Honorable Speaker. We are currently dealing with a deficit to GDP ratio of 2.9%, which is actually, Honorable Speaker, a very modest and a very considerate deficit. In fact, in the region, Honorable Speaker, Kenya is the one operating on the lowest deficit to GDP ratio in terms of the estimates that we'll be debating later on in this House. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, so to say, we want to cap our deficit at 2.9%. And therefore, our budget is inelastic. Whatever amount of money we may want to add to our counties over and above